What's going on, everybody? What is it, episode 20?
Episode 20.
Episode 20, Putting You in Your Place. We got a little pre-show debate going on, and a topic that I'm really interested in, a topic that is right up my wheelhouse. The government is looking like we're going to be leading up to another shutdown, another government shutdown that will impact home buyers if they're using certain loan programs, mainly the USDA loan program. And that would probably represent, I don't know for sure, that probably represent 70% of my first-time home buyers in the New River Valley, okay? So it's debatable what the date is, but from what we've researched, it might be December 11th, but for some reason I've got December 17th in my head. I was talking to a couple people, and we were talking about that date. I don't know why, but it looks like from the research you've done, I would go with December 11th.
Yeah, these are, I looked at multiple articles. I just pulled up these two because they were more concise. So when people go back and watch the podcast and like re-watch this, they can read these, and they're pretty, they're like short reads. And Trump signed in a temporary stopgap funding.
When was this?
It was around September 30th is when this article was published. So it might have been September 29th.
Yeah,
is when it was done. But he put it into, it's supposed to keep the government funding for their like necessary branches of government to go through December 11th.
Gotcha.
So, and that's like all the articles I read said December 11th.
Okay.
So maybe
we'll go with that. We'll go with that. I mean, so what that means, what that actually means is if you are in the buying process right now and you're using USDA loan financing, that if you don't close the deal before December 11th, then your closing could be in jeopardy until the government reopens. So if you are contracted to close December 15th and the government closes December 11th, if there's not any action taken to allow USDA to continue to fund these loans, then you will be in a holding pattern until they reopen so they can stamp approved on the backing of the loan. Mm-hmm. So really consumers and realtors all across the board that are using these loan programs need to be very aware of the climate we're about to be in. And there's nobody talking about this right now. It's not on anybody's radar. We're the first ones to really talk about it. And so we don't really know exactly the details. We're just speculating on what we feel like is going to be a very hard time for the country between a contested election. So this is one of the items that could be majorly impacted is government funding. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I think I'm not really sure what's going to happen with this, to be honest. But this was kind of one of those things that I was talking about in like a recent podcast where I was like, there's like a storm of things that could happen that could cause 2021 to be a disaster. This was one of them. But we've talked about that like before this even happened.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens on this, I guess. But I don't see it being, I see it being a huge problem if they don't figure anything out. But, you know.
I see it being a problem if, well, I see a lot of problems presenting themselves no matter what happens. But yeah, I just hope that we can, whatever the results are, whatever happens, I just hope we can get back to business and back to life and we can just move forward and continue our pursuit. That's all I hope for.
Yeah, for sure.
Government getting in the way of the people. That's not what the government's for. The government's there to assist and help, not to get in the way. So
right. So
what do you got here?
So I found some pretty interesting things. First-time home buyers. Anytime an article about that comes up, I'm always pretty interested because of like the times that we're living in right now.
Right.
They're struggling the most. But I found this one that was talking about Gen Z. So people that they say Gen Z is like people that are 24 and younger, I believe is like the correct time frame for those people. And I'm one of them. So but I don't agree 100% with what the article was saying. But here's the article. Nope, wrong article. My bad. This article. Same comes from the same place, but this article. It's Gen Z expects homes to have tech. They want a lot of tech in their like first homes, or I guess like first condos, if they're living in a condo. But it's saying that many people. Oh nope, I'm on the wrong article actually. I skipped over one. My bad. It's saying that first-time home buyers are prioritizing higher speed internet.
Are we talking about the Gen Z stuff, or are we talking about...
Yeah, I accidentally skipped over it.
Okay.
They're both come from Realtor Magazine, and I had them backwards on my browser.
Okay, gotcha. So we're back to the tech startups reimagine future needs of
office I'm still talking about the Gen Z thing, but
okay.
I can move back to the tech startup. Okay. Yeah, it was my bad. They were backwards on my browser because I have both the articles open.
Right.
But it was saying that 2,500 people were surveyed, and they're saying that they want high-speed internet over other things like parking, gym, and laundry, which I thought was pretty interesting. I do value high-speed internet, but I don't know if I would value it over parking. I don't want to park on the street. I'd like to be close to a gym, and I'd like to be able to do my laundry at a house that I'm buying. So,
Well, all right. So, all those items combined versus just internet, that's the thing, is like you're classifying internet over here, and then you're classifying all these other features here, and I don't know, I might have to really consider not so great, like average basic internet versus all this if I can't have this and just have good internet.
That's what I'm saying. I don't agree with it, and I am in that Gen Z category. Like, I appreciate high speed internet, but I'm like, I don't know if I value it more than because I feel like being able to do your own laundry in your own house is like part of the main reasons that you even buy your own house, is so that way you don't have to go to a laundromat or anything anymore, or your parents' house to do laundry. I don't know. That's just me though.
Man, I am so specific on my laundry needs. Like, every house I go in, the basement's in the basement. The laundry's in the basement.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope.
No.
If the laundry is in the basement, if I have to travel too far because of the laundry, it's a no-go for me.
What if it had a laundry chute in it, where you just like, you're on one floor and you just throw it in there?
Now that's okay, but if it's still a dungeony type basement, unfinished, like dark, like it just doesn't have a good feeling. It's not like a part of the house. Mm-hmm. I'm not in it. Yeah. I'm not in it.
See, we had a house like that when I lived up in New York. We had a laundry chute, and the laundry was in the basement, but it was a finished basement though.
Yeah.
As well.
So like on a split foyer home that you live down in the basement, you go down and there's bedroom and a living area, and like it's finished, and the laundry's down there. I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. But in a brick ranch style home, if the laundry's not positioned somewhere, or a 2-story home. In a 2-story home with a basement, if I've got to go from the basement up to the main level, up to the bedrooms, sign me out. Like,
gotcha.
No.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, I understand. How many homes around here do you see that have like what you call like smart features, with like smart locks, smart thermostats, more energy efficient appliances that are controlled by like maybe your smartphone? Like, how many houses around here do you see with that? Because they're saying that Gen Z, none. Not at all. Like, not even the new one. Not even the new ones.
Hopefully, we had that interview yesterday with Eagle.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, they do some stuff like that. Like that would be nice. That would be awesome.
Gotcha.
Also, I got to plug in the future. We're gonna show you an interview we did with Eagle Construction, the people that are doing the Midtown development. Mm-hmm. So,
well, I do know that Eagle Construction, they do energy efficient appliances in their houses, because they have some sort of certification that all their houses get, that because of those appliances they have like a increase of like 5% return on like your house. Like, it goes up 5% versus all the other houses in the neighborhood.
Gotcha.
If it has that I don't remember what it's called. It's in their PowerPoint though, that we'll show in another podcast.
Yeah.
But I know they do have that, but I wasn't sure about the whole like smart.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like, I want to make sure my dishes are washed by the time I get home. Let me hit a button on my phone.
Something like that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I've never seen that.
That's what these Gen Z renters are looking for, or home buyers. They're looking for those like features in houses. So I was just wondering if they were around here, because we do have a lot of college students here that might graduate from tech and then go and work here.
Yeah. And
if they can't find a house like that,
well,
I don't know.
That's the new frontier, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully we can, we need to find ways to keep these kids in the area. We got to find that way. So hopefully those are some things that the people that are making these developments and doing this work, hopefully they will, take these notes.
Yeah. See, I find that very interesting, though, because I went back to my best friend that lives in North Carolina. His family just bought a new house. It's like a $400,000 house, sort of like what EU Construction's building.
Yeah.
And they had all the smart features. It had the smart thermostats, the smart locks, and all that stuff. They had to, learn it because his parents are older, so they didn't understand how it all worked. But they got into it and figured it out. So, but it was like a new house, and it had all the smart features. So I was
there's not anybody building houses right now that are putting, you use your phone as like the hotel key and it unlocks your door. Nothing like that's going on here.
Yeah, not even in the, like apartments or anything.
Nope.
Okay.
That's
weird.
I don't know of any new, especially just down the road here.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a good one to go look and see, like what they did. But most apartments going up right now, they're not selling them; they're just renting them.
Right.
There's nobody developing apartments or condos in the New River Valley that are for sale.
Mm-hmm.
They're all just rent.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting thing. I think there needs to be somebody come in here, develop 60 acres worth of property that are 3 or 4 level condo type stuff that will actually be sold to the public. I think that's a need that needs to happen in Christiansburg and Blacksburg, and maybe even some developments in Pulaski.
Yeah,
I
could see it doing really well in Christiansburg.
Yeah.
So, because a lot of people go over there to like find more affordable housing than what it was in Blacksburg. So, building a giant condo over there would be really amazing.
Right.
They were saying in this article that a good way to get in contact with these like Gen Zers is to use their favorite social media platform, which is Instagram. I can attest to that. Instagram is one of my favorite social media platforms, mostly because I'm a photographer. But I mean, it is one of my favorite platforms. And if you want to like throw an ad my way, it's like I'm probably going to see it on Instagram versus anything else.
Right.
So
what do you think how much time a day are you spending on Instagram right now?
I can tell you. I can pull up my like weekly report.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot.
Yeah.
Mostly because I do it here and for myself.
Right.
Let me see what my thing is. So it says today I spent about it says about an hour every day.
Yeah.
An hour a day.
And do you think that's flipping through my stuff too? Do you think that's flipping?
Yeah. This is just what it says on my phone.
Gotcha.
So it's how. So I
okay. So you bring up, and that's the usage that the phone tells you they're tracking.
Yeah. So my daily average is 5 hours and 15 minutes. I spend about an hour a day on Instagram, which is a lot.
What are you spending on other, like what's your consumption? I mean, do you do anything? Are you looking at TikTok at all?
Yeah, I look at TikTok sometimes. I'm not like too into making my own TikTok, so I'm not on there that often. Because usually for me, I get to see TikToks either from my friends sending them to me on Snapchat, or they're just re-uploaded on Instagram Reels. Gotcha. So usually if I see one, it's on one of those two platforms.
Gotcha. So people are sharing the TikToks that they want you to see through Snapchat.
Yeah. And because I have a TikTok account, it opens it up in TikTok. And then if, I see it and then I just scroll, and then that's how I get on TikTok. But
gotcha.
For me, that's how it works. I mean, I probably would use TikTok more often if like COVID wasn't going on, because I'm a lot more active outside when, I can go out and hang out with people. So
here's my take. Here's really my take on TikTok and why I'm so infatuated with it right now is that I see so much talent going on that app. They're putting out like unbelievable content. Some of it's just pretty people, and they getting a lot of views because of how they look.
Yeah.
But some people out there are actually putting out I mean, it's like perfectly produced. I mean, it's like this 60 seconds of whatever they're allowed to do, whatever they're pushing, is so amazing. And then there's those people that just randomly blow up, by riding a skateboard and drinking cranberry juice.
Yeah.
And it's just changing people's lives. I mean, financially, the deals these people are getting. There's this one group that's just created this one dance. It's just this little like silly dance. They've been all over the country doing this dance with like all kinds of famous people, football people, like World Series mascots. Like it's been amazing watching these two guys that created this stupid little dance go all across the country and get millions and millions of likes and millions of views, and just people actually pursuing them to endorse their products or like do whatever it is that they want them to do and paying them for it.
Huh.
So it's amazing.
That's interesting. It's so weird to me though, because it's just like I don't get it, you know, because I got spoiled with Vine because like I was one of those people that consumed Vine a lot when it was out, and it was like a bunch of like funny short skits, and then when I see TikTok, I expect it to be that way, and it's not. So maybe that's kind of what doesn't do it for me, because I just don't understand the dances.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand why people like doing them. Creating them's fun, but watching them and consuming them to me just isn't like entertaining. It's the ones on TikTok that are like funny doing skits. Those are the people that I enjoy watching.
Yeah.
Or something cool like photography related.
Yeah.
So that too.
Like,
I've heard a lot of
like the video editing process for TikTok is really what's held me back, because I see these very well produced videos and I see like how great they are, and I cannot replicate that. Yeah. And that's what's really holding me back, is because I want to do things in a certain way and I cannot get there. I cannot figure it out. And I'm just like, if I can't put out great, then I'm not going to put it out. And I know that's wrong. I know that's the wrong strategy.
Yeah.
But man, I just want my stuff to be good. I just want it to be good.
You got to just do it and then practice.
And I've tried. I mean, I've got some videos on there and I thought that they were decent, and they've got, 400, 500, 600 views or whatever. And that's well beyond what followers I have. So, I mean, that's nice, but at the same time, like the quality of it all isn't great.
Yeah.
And that's
it's all in the cuts. It's the cuts.
Yeah.
You got to get the cuts right.
Yeah.
If you can get, because whenever I see like, it's hard to explain, but there's like, you can do funny cuts where it's like you're in the middle of a sentence and you just cut it and it turns into something else. Those are like, that's what I would consider like a funny cut.
Yeah.
So you have to like, to me, that's the key, is the cut process.
Sure. And really putting the right music to whatever you're doing. Yeah. I mean, there's so many layers to it. I mean, there's so many layers to that. It's just like, it can be overwhelming. You're trying to create a 60-second video, and it's going to take you, to really do it to a high level, it's going to take you well beyond just a 60-second take.
Yeah. Well, I know like whenever I storyboard some stuff with like some friends, like let's say we're shooting like a car or something, we always pick the music first before we like storyboard the rest of it, because we're like, if we get the music, there are certain beats where it drops off or picks up, and you can make the cuts to that. So that helps, is having the music first. But sometimes you just do it and then the music works behind it anyways. Yeah. So, and TikTok's actually pretty good too at that. They can, I've noticed that if you shoot it on your camera roll and then make a video and then pick music to it, it'll like edit the camera roll videos to the beat of the music. So it works okay, but it might not be exactly what you want. Right. But it works better than you would expect it to, or at least that I expected it to.
Right. I know this is off topic of what we planned, but sticking on some social media, have you seen what people have been saying about like transferring to Parller? Have you been looking at that? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen people talk about it. I mean, I think it's a good. I haven't looked into Parller too much. I saw it on the App Store the other day. It was like top 3 free apps or something like that. It's like the unbiased social media platform.
Right.
So,
or I think it's like the
uncensored or something. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it. I mean, I think it'll be that way for a while, but eventually it'll just turn into the rest. Yeah. So that's how I see it, because it's the trend.
It's just a backlash of what people are thinking Facebook are doing to them. Yeah. The news is clearly on one side of the deal, and people are looking for an outlet that they don't have to feel like their posts are being pushed down or blocked or shadow banned. The big term is shadow banned right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I've always said that now that Parler is in the space, if someone was to make an app that was like Instagram but uploaded high resolution photos that weren't compressed and that didn't have like a terrible like search algorithm, that it would like compete well with Instagram and probably kill it. But no one's done it yet. Yeah. And if I could make an app, I would make it, but I don't know how to make an app. So I mean, I guess I could find someone that could help me make the app, but that seems like a long and lengthy, expensive process that I just don't have the funds to do. Right. But I feel like that. So like, even if you take Parler now and then you make an app that's like Instagram, you could like combine those two, like form up like Facebook and Instagram did, and then you could essentially take them over.
Well, at least compete, because you got 70 million people wanting to fly off Facebook now.
Yeah, well, I mean, if everyone's flying off of Facebook, then the only thing that Facebook has left would be WhatsApp and Instagram. So then you make an app that's better than Instagram, doesn't compress photos, has a great algorithm. Basically, the two things people gripe about on Instagram.
You don't like the filters on Instagram too, do you?
Well, I like the filters back in like 2013, like when the app was like kind of new. But I mean, over time, I was actually watching a video yesterday. I think it was from Gary Vee. He was saying that the apps that do well are the ones that improves people's content creation skills. And that's what Instagram did with their filters. But now that the filters have like helped people understand color correcting and like framing of pictures better, so they can make better photos. So filters now, to me, are on Instagram at least, are an outdated option. That just doesn't look good anymore because people have far surpassed what it was. Unless you were like at the time back when Instagram first started, like a professional photographer that understood color grading, it helped.
So what that's done is help educate people, and now they've moved beyond that first step of improving quality of photos.
Yeah, I think if you use a filter on Instagram, it shows like, no offense, but it shows like your age and just like you just didn't catch up with it when it was first a thing, and that you're just kind of behind everyone else that is doing it. Right. So, but like that's just my opinion. If people you can still use filters on Instagram and they look good, but it just has to work for the photo.
Right.
And
you feel like a little manual update is going to be better than what they're supplying you.
Yeah, if people use sliders more often, because Instagram does offer like sliders, they might not be as effective as like what Lightroom offers, but if people just use the sliders on Instagram instead of the filters, you could probably get a much better photo. And all you have to really do is look at a color wheel to understand them, and then you can understand like contrasting colors.
Gotcha.
So, but I mean, that's like, I could go into that a lot more, but that's what I would suggest on Instagram if you don't know how to use Lightroom or anything like that.
Right. We probably should have that as a topic at some point. I like that stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
That's interesting stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I could make some more like points as to like how to improve an Instagram, because that's like, I guess, like my forte.
Right.
Is like understanding Instagram's algorithm and what looks good on Instagram and stuff like that. But I mostly do car photography, so it's a little bit different than if you were to do like a person or a landscape.
Yeah. Or house.
Or a house. Right. Yeah. Actually, houses aren't that bad. They're still objects that don't move. And it's just like you're focusing on that one subject. Yeah. I mean, when you do landscape, you kind of take in everything unless you're focusing on one object, maybe like a tree or something. And then people are different because you're messing with skin tones and things like that. So,
what else you got?
So I found this thing talking about tech startups. They're reimagining their office space needs. Yeah. Because I remember we were talking in like, was it the last podcast or the podcast before that, where you were saying that don't take your office space out of the community because then people might forget about you. So that's kind of the same deal here. And it's so tech startups are, and it's focused mostly on New York City, which is where you see some of these tech startups start because it's easy for them to get office space there and for people to congregate in New York City. Yeah. But it was from this person. Her name was, or this quote piece came from. Her name was Maria Gotch. I'm probably butchering her name. Let's see, where is she? Like right here. It starts right here. Gotcha. So it says that she is the chief executive of Business Group Partnership Fund for New York City. I don't know what that means, but it sounds pretty good. So she gave a piece to the Washington Post saying that tech startups will want new office spaces because the people that work for these tech startups are like in their 20s and 30s. And people use office spaces as a way to meet new people. So she was coming from, she was going at this point from like a sociological perspective, where it's like you need this office space for younger people to interact and meet with one another, because it's like that's where they spend most of their day, and maybe they don't have time to like go to a bar or something after work, right? Because they're working at a tech startup, so they're spending all their time in the office. So she was going at it from a sociological standpoint, but then you have this other person that comes in. The CEO's name is Rachel Typograph. She is in charge of a software e-commerce company called Micmac. And they're rethinking their office space as more of just like a place for people to go and congregate to work on projects from time to time, and then mostly work from home. So we're going to see probably shorter leases over time or like time slotted office spaces.
Yeah.
So, which actually kind of sucks because that was one of my ideas that I had for Blacksburg, because a space opened up downtown. It was like $1,600 a month. You just take that space, rent it out to businesses that are working from home, and then you can also rent it out to college students that need a space.
So you're saying like an appointment based office space for teams to come in and collaborate together when they need to.
Yeah, so it could be either or, because one of the things that I'm seeing happen in the commercial area is they're reworking their leases to not be as, because they're usually like 3 years typically, and then it would be shorter than that. So to make it more, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for. Make it look more appealing, I guess, to someone to go and use that space, because if something like this happened again, it'd be easy for them to get out of their lease because it wouldn't be so long. So they're looking at 18-month leases for this Micamac software company.
Gotcha.
So she wants to keep that like flexible work from home, but also if they need to collaborate.
I just don't know. How I feel about that is I just don't know. I just like I said, like I don't take this space for the space necessarily, even though for me it's just for the people that I want to hire. It's for the community to recognize me. It's for like building my brand.
Yeah. So you probably side more with the Maria person, the chief executive of that business group partnership fund, because it's for her workers to collaborate and get to know one of each other and do better on their work, I guess.
Yeah.
So I mean, it makes sense, but I just thought it was pretty interesting that they focused on tech startups in particular for this.
I mean, I see when you're an internet-based brand, like Pinterest. Yeah. We talked about Pinterest. Mm-hmm. Pinterest doesn't necessarily need office space or community. Their community is online. Their community is an internet. Well,
then you also go and look at these places so Amazon just signed a lease for like 900,000 square foot office space, I think, in New York City. And then Facebook did the same thing with like a 700,000 square foot office space. It actually might be in this article. Hold on. I think it was at the bottom. Let me get my mouse back over here. Yep. So Facebook signed a lease for 730,000 square foot space in Manhattan, and Amazon announced a 900,000 square foot space in New York, Phoenix, San Diego, Denver, Detroit, and Dallas. I don't know if that's combined or they're each 900 square feet a piece, but probably combined, I would hope.
Does it say anything there on like what the purpose is and what their plans are?
They're just expanding their office space. They need more workers for their business to grow. They just, I guess they both got to that point where they're just
service. Well, I mean, what?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it's customer service or not. It didn't sound like it, because I remember like in particular New York City, there was a whole thing where it was like Amazon was looking at expanding their office space, and they were deciding between Northern Virginia. I don't remember where in Northern Virginia, but it was Northern Virginia and like New York City. And something happened in New York City, so they were going to like do it in Northern Virginia. But they're not on the list, so this must be something different, like a different expansion.
Yeah, see, they're going to have a fulfillment center in Alexandria, I think.
Well, no, they were. I specifically remember it being office spaces, because they were talking about it bringing in high income jobs, which was the big deal, and they were going to put them in like an area that needed it.
This is like HQ2.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was. It was HQ2, I think, is what they called it. Because their first one is in Seattle. Yeah. And they were going to expand more towards the East Coast. Yeah. So I don't know about the fulfillment centers though. This might be, well, no, it says office space, so I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. We'll have to look into that.
Must be like customer service. But that's But I just thought it was pretty interesting. Let's see, what else do I have here? Oh, I did have a question that I got from online.
All right.
It says, Sweet. What are the advantages and disadvantages of investing in real estate? So I guess let's start. What do you want to start with first? The pros or the cons?
I don't know.
I feel like there'd be less cons than there are.
A disadvantage?
Yeah.
All right. So I guess a disadvantage is that you're putting your money, you got to have capital to put money down on a real estate investment. Mm-hmm. So you're going to be eliminating some opportunity cost in other ways by putting your money into that product. But I don't know that that's a disadvantage. It's an investment.
Well, I also found a way to not do that. I found it on TikTok, actually, surprisingly.
Yeah.
The one time that I was like on TikTok, I found this guy. Oh, I remember how I found it. I was like looking at real estate people on TikTok for you to get ideas of what they were doing.
Right.
And this guy was saying like find a hard money lender that's like reputable, and then take their money, buy a real estate property, and then fix it up, rent it out, and then after like 12 months, go back to the bank, get some sort of like check for the building, and then pay back your lender, and then you take whatever's the profit is also the rent or something like that. I don't know.
It's a weird strategy, and it's a risky strategy because these hard money lenders charge far higher interest rates.
Yeah.
And if you don't execute the thing perfectly, then you're gonna be. It's like you've taken a loan from the mob.
Yeah. Well, see, I heard it, and I was like, okay, it sounds good. And then I started thinking about it, and I just sat there for like 10 minutes thinking. I'm like, okay, how could you do this? And I'm like, that just sounds risky. It's like, because what he wants you to do is he wants you to buy his course. So that way you know how to do it. And then it takes off the stress of doing it, but it still doesn't take out the risk. It's still risky.
Yeah.
So
I guess.
Anyways, back to the disadvantage.
If we're talking about a disadvantage of investing in real estate, I mean, you got to manage your real estate.
Mm-hmm.
You got to take care of the product. You got to take care. You got to maintain the people that you put in it.
Yeah.
You got to.
What if you get like a house that has more problems than you originally realized?
Then you didn't educate yourself enough about the product.
Yeah.
You didn't get involved enough to care, and now you got all these problems because you had an opportunity to inspect.
Mm-hmm.
You had an opportunity to do your due diligence in the situation. So
those people like on HGTV where they're like, oh, we bought this house to flip and it has these problems. Do they already know that, or they
don't likely know that, but it's an entertainment value too. Like they might know that, but then when they're pulling the ceiling down and the whole ceiling comes down on them, like that's just like negligence of some kind. Mm-hmm. But obviously they're going for some entertainment value there too. Mm-hmm. So I don't really trust anything that I see on any of those types of shows. I would call most of those shows 90% scripted.
Oh yeah, probably.
Like, oh my gosh, look at what we got to do now. Like, they had the opportunity to evaluate that. So if they were silly enough to not get in there and inspect it and educate themselves about the investment product that they're buying, then they weren't professional about it.
Okay. Well, I got another one. Yeah. I'm gonna throw another one at you. What if you get like, say you get a fourplex, and then you just have problems renting it out? Is that also just not researching it enough?
Well,
I'm just saying. I'm just asking.
All right. So the way that I would go about it, if I had an empty 4-unit place, the way that I would go about that is I would enter into a contract with the person. I would fully lease the place up before I go to closing, and there would be contingency in the contract that if I don't, until I get it full, I don't close. So if I don't have it fully rented to a certain percentage, I don't close the deal. They allow me to get in there, secure the leases that I want at the rates that I want, and once it's full up to the percentage that we agree on, then I go to close.
Yeah. Isn't that kind of risky though? Like if you're I don't really know much about doing this, but like if you're leasing out 4 units in like a fourplex, you have to fill them before you sign. But like, what if the deal falls through?
If for some reason the financing falls through,
what happens to the people though?
So the people, if that's an agreement, then the owner of the property that still holds title would then assume that that's all his. Then it'll be all his. Now he may then repackage that up and try to sell it to somebody else, or he may just collect because we're doing all the work for him. We're doing all the work. So it's nothing but the benefit of the seller. If he's got an empty fourplex and he's selling to me, he's probably selling to me at a discount. Number one, because he's hard up because all of his tenants walked out on him. He's not in a great situation.
Yeah, it's not cash flow.
Right. So like no, he's drowning.
Yeah.
His debt service, he's drowning.
Yeah.
So when he gets me involved and he wants me to buy it, we've negotiated a price. We've negotiated the opportunity for me to fill the place up, and me secure my situation before I actually take ownership of it. Mm-hmm. That's how I would fill that situation.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right. So what are the advantages? There's a ton of advantages.
Well, the advantages is that you own real estate.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
You know, like you
Yeah.
have a secure investment product.
Mhm.
You have a secure investment product as long as you take the care needed of the actual real estate and the people that decide to pay you,
Mhm.
then you're going to win.
Gotcha.
The moment that you don't take care of your product and you don't take care of your people, you're going to lose.
Mhm.
That's in life.
Yeah.
If you don't take care of your stuff and you don't take care of the people in your life, then you're going to lose. You're going to lose.
Yeah. Makes
Simple.
sense. Yep.
Basic. That's basic stuff. So like that's we don't have to go any further. Like that's it. Is the advantages is that you have real estate, take care of your stuff, take care of your people.
Always
going to
go up.
And you're going to be good.
Gotcha. All right. Well, this is my last topic. I thought it was a pretty big deal because it has to do with malls, and I've talked about malls a lot on this show, of like what they're turning into, what they
Right.
could be. So
Those would be the new Amazon fulfillment centers, right?
yeah, that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. Malls are going to convert to. Like Amazon will like buy out like a certain part of it and
Yeah.
it become a fulfillment center or something like that. But it's two of the largest property management companies that own malls filed for bankruptcy on Sunday.
Wow.
I'm trying to remember when I put this. It wasn't this past Sunday. It was the Sunday before that. So like the 1st. I guess it would have been the 1st of November. So I'll go ahead and pull up this article right here. It is all right. So I'm gonna do my best to pronounce these. It's CBL Properties, and then it's Pennsylvania Real Estate Investment Trust. So PREIT. They filed for bankruptcy. So we'll start with CBL. CBL said that 30 or more of their retail tenants had to file bankruptcy this year. That included JCPenney's, Ann Taylor, and then Pier 1 Imports. And then Sears was also wrapped up in that, but they filed for bankruptcy more than a year ago. But those were their biggest like retail tenants, and they all filed for bankruptcy. So because they all filed for bankruptcy and they were their biggest payers, they also had to file for bankruptcy because they lost like a huge portion of their revenue.
Yeah.
So, but CBL is Tennessee-based, and they said that 27% of what it was owed in April was paid, and then only a third of what they were owed was paid in May. So I don't know about the months in between May and now. I'm assuming they were probably worse, or they might have been about the same. But because of that, they just had to file for bankruptcy. They couldn't keep their mall open. But both of these malls from the PREIT and then CBL, they are classified as B-class rental properties. So it would be similar to what the mall is over here. There are malls that are located in like less urban areas. So usually those kind of malls cater towards like the middle class, and those are the people that are struggling right now.
Yeah.
So it kind of sucks, but I mean, I guess it is what it is. Well, they said located outside of metropolitan areas. Oh, they also threw in that Friendly's, a northeastern diner chain, closed, which kind of sucks. Because I remember going there, like, when I was younger, for, like, a lot of birthdays and stuff.
I don't even know. I've never even heard of that place.
Yeah, it's a super small place. I hadn't heard of it until I moved up into, like, upstate New York. But apparently they filed for bankruptcy, and this was the first time I heard of it, so it made me really sad when I saw that.
So my take on that is the shopping mall industry was hanging on by a thread anyway.
Yeah.
And that this just gave them the final straw. I mean, this was the one that just broke the camel's back on the retail shopping industry in the United States. And it's interesting to see who's going to make it out. You know, Amazon's obviously the clear winner, and Walmart has done enough to protect its share, I think. Their transition to online and their transition to home delivery. I mean, I am fine with never walking into a Walmart again.
Yeah.
But I'm getting their products. I'm still getting their products.
Right.
So they've done a good job. And they've deployed it very well. I've never had any issues. Now, I've had issues with Instacart, but I've never had any issues with Walmart delivery. I've never.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. Well, is it like Walmart delivery, like you pick up at the store,
No.
or it's just delivered to your house?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Instacart sucks because Instacart, they're like locals that just come and deliver it to your house,
Right.
right? Yeah.
So Instacart goes to multiple places.
Right. Yeah, I remember having to like work with those people when I worked at Kroger.
Yeah.
They just like, some of them just really sucked at their job.
Yeah.
Like they just would not find anything, and then whenever customers would have issues, they'd call us. They'd be like, "Hey, this person went to Kroger and like they never showed up with my groceries," and I'm like, "I don't know what to tell you. He's
Yeah.
probably somewhere eating your bag of chips somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know what." I don't
In
know what's
2
going on.
cases, my groceries got delivered to somebody else, and their groceries got delivered to me.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why that would
Yeah.
be.
And anytime I said no substitutions, and they couldn't, it was clear that they had the product. Like, this is a product they always keep.
Well, all right,
and-
hold on. Tell me what it was, because I used to work at Kroger, so I know.
It was a like a certain brand of eggs. Like,
Okay.
What's the white carton of eggs?
I
There was just
think
multiple
the
products.
one that's in the styrofoam.
Yeah.
Grade.
Eggland.
Grade.
Eggland.
Oh, Eggland. Yeah, I think
Something
it
like
might
that.
be. I can see the box.
I just
yeah.
don't like substitutions on my picks.
Yeah.
And I know more times than not they couldn't find what I was looking for, or they didn't give it enough effort, and they said that it wasn't available. But
Yeah.
typically when it's unavailable in the store has an inventory that says out of stock.
Yeah.
So when I say no substitutions, and they say at the end, the person's texting me, not the store, not the store saying, "Hey, we're out of this product at the moment." It wasn't toilet paper. You know, I understood that toilet paper was out of stock, but they were clearly just a little lazy.
Yeah. Well, now I will admit on eggs in particular, sometimes certain brands of eggs are harder to get into the store. Usually, your best bet is to get Kroger brand eggs when you're at Kroger, because they keep those, and they have a wider variety of eggs that they offer, especially from Simple Truth, like the organic eggs and natural eggs. But it's easier to get the Kroger brand ones versus like some other brand.
Yeah.
So I will admit it. I mean, it could have been in the store, but like there is a possibility, because I've had eggs run out before.
Right.
Where I obviously didn't substitute them, but I would never substitute unless someone told me like substitute for this.
Well, see, the options when you go down is like allow for substitutions or
Yeah.
don't allow for substitutions.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I want what I want.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and I totally agree, because I'm like, if you're gonna like be picky about what you eat, just say no substitutions, and if they don't have it, then like that, it's probably only going to be like 2 or 3 items.
Yeah.
You just go in the store and grab whatever else you would want,
Right.
because they're not going to know what you want.
Sure.
They're handling like 200 people a day.
Yeah.
They're not going to know.
Yeah.
I can't remember what we were talking about.
Well, I was just saying that
Yeah.
the whole shop from home thing.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
The Amazon was the clear winner of
Yeah.
the whole mall, the mall shutting down and things like that. The retail industry being demolished.
Yeah. So to me personally, these big malls that get put out of business, it's actually their fault. They never readapted to bring in other businesses that were permanent to stay.
Yeah.
So for example, for the people that are listening that are local, they'll know that over in Christiansburg, where they're building all that new like shopping center stuff, everything that's being put over there is more like permanent things where you kind of have to go to the store. You don't really have an option. It's things like gyms, restaurants. I'm trying to think of some other things that they're trying to put over there, but it's things like that. They're not like these retail spaces. They're more of places like you have to go there if you want to.
You're not going to go buy T-shirts anymore from these companies at malls. Mm-hmm. We're going direct to the company. I'm buying my T-shirts from CalvinKlein.com. I'm getting clothing subscription services delivered to me every month from
I know.
Even food. I'm getting Butcher Box to send me meat.
Well, even for people that are like particular about their clothes, because I've had this conversation with my parents before, the return policies and shipping process nowadays is so much simpler than it used to be and much more efficient. That like basically you just try on clothes, they just ship to your house. You don't really have to do anything. You just hit a button. It shows up to your house in like a couple of days, maybe a day. If you don't like it, you have a return policy. You just ship it back and be like, I want this other size. And then you just keep doing that back and forth so you get what you want. Because like in the amount of time that it would take for you to like hit submit, try it on, and then return it is probably about the same amount of time that you would have spent in a store anyways, trying on a pair of clothes. But then you get to do other stuff too. So usually people that are not into the whole shipping groceries to your house or clothes to your house or anything like that, just don't value their time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. But
Yeah. What else we got?
that was pretty much all I had.
All right. So let's just recap where we are in life.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Let's just, it's November 10th, right?
Mm-hmm.
November 10th, 2020.
Yep.
We've got a very interesting time in our life, that's being played out. We have no idea who the president of the country is going to be. The media wants to tell us what to think, but it's going to be very interesting what the actual end result's going to be. And it's just perplexing to me, like what could happen and like where we are. So I just wanted to document that. I wanted to say that. What's our subscriber count here today? No, it's over.
Oh, 152.
152.
Yeah.
Okay, 152. 152 people have decided to say we'll follow what you're saying, and I appreciate that. We want to grow that exponentially. How many people are watching? We got any watchers?
4.
Three watchers. For you guys watching, it's probably you as a count, right?
Yeah, I'm on it. Yeah.
So anybody watching, I really appreciate it. Anybody, if you got any real estate questions, we want to handle those. If you got any feedback, you want our perspective on anything, I want to talk about that too. I'm interested in what you guys think of what we're doing. If there's anything you guys want us to cover, I think we need to reapproach. I still to this day get people asking me, what do I think about rent to own? What do I think about this or that? And their quest to become homeowners or their housing needs. So, we're at episode 20 here, 10 episodes with these guys helping me. I think, we set clear goals. We wanted to be consistent. We wanted to, make it a priority. And I think we've done that. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
For sure.
So now we're kind of getting, into the intermediate stages of who we are, and what we can understand here and our abilities. Next week, do we start simulcasting on Facebook?
Hopefully, yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to add a layer to this, and we're going to be on Facebook. At the same time we're running this on YouTube, we're going to be running this on Facebook. So, maybe that'll lead to some more engagement and stuff like that. But everybody's been on YouTube so far and watching us and giving us any of your time. I really appreciate that. And if there's anything I can do for the New River Valley, anybody that's got any real estate needs, let me know. Anybody that's outside of the area, if you've got real estate needs, I can probably find you somebody that runs like I do to help you. So just anything that I can do for you real estate wise, I want to be there for you. And I'm excited that you're here and that you're within the range of my voice. And again, to my guys here, thank you. Sky, thanks. I appreciate everything y'all have done to help me get this thing going. So until next time, see you later.